Friends, today I have brought to you one more interesting subject, that is heat. There are many people, many students, including many teachers I have seen that they do not know the clear distinction between heat and temperature. They keep mixing up heat and temperature. So we will discuss what is heat, what is temperature, and what is the difference between heat and temperature. Now when I am recording this video, we are in the month of May and I am in Bangalore. The temperature is around 30 degrees centigrade. It's fairly comfortable. Now what do we do in summers? We are in the peak of summers. So we wear light cotton shirts. We tend to remain inside the house or in a shade. We don't stand in the sun. Why? Because we feel hot. Whereas in the winters, what do? We tend to wear woolen clothes, cover our bodies, and we feel very happy to stand in the sun. Why is it so? Because during the summers, our earth as a whole is closer to the sun. Therefore, the rays of the sun fall on the earth with more intensity, and therefore we get more heat. Whereas during the times of winter, the earth is rather further away from the sun. Therefore, the intensity of the radiations which fall on the earth from the sun, they are less, and therefore we don't feel that much hot during winters, or we can say we feel cold. Now this hot and cold we will discuss. Okay, like I'll tell you, a friend from Rajasthan has come here and he says, wow, your Bangalore is very cool. Okay, why? Because he lives in Rajasthan where the temperatures are generally higher during the day. Now in the morning I had gone for a walk and I met a gentleman who has a dog whose breed is Siberian Husky. This dog is normally found in Siberia. And Siberia is a very cold place. Temperature goes to -30, -40 degrees centigrade also. And that gentleman, when I was talking to that gentleman and inquiring welfares, he says, sir, I have to go home because this dog is feeling very hot. He is sweating. Now just imagine at around 7 o'clock in the morning in Bangalore, the dog is sweating. Why? Because he is used to living in very cold areas, and in Bangalore in the morning the temperature was around 24 degrees centigrade. For him it is rather very hot, whereas we were wearing light sweaters or some jackets. Okay, so now for somebody the same temperature is hot, for somebody the same temperature is cold. What is this hotness or coolness, or what is it? So somebody says the same weather, somebody says hot, somebody says cold. There has to be some unit or some fixed measurement system wherein we can say, okay, now the hotness is this much, the coolness is this much. Okay, for that we use a scale, measuring scale called degrees centigrade. Okay, this is a very common scale. I have already drawn it here for you to understand. It was developed and designed by a scientist called Celsius, in whose name this scale has been given. It is also called a centigrade scale because it has been divided into 100 parts. Now how he has taken this scale? He took water. This gentleman called Celsius, he took water and he froze the water. The temperature at which water became solid, that is, it froze. He put a mark there and he said this temperature is 0. Now he boiled that same water. The water kept on becoming hotter and hotter and hotter. A time came when the water started boiling and it started getting evaporated and steam came out of water. That temperature where water started boiling, he marked it as 100. He said this is 100 degrees centigrade, and the temperature at which the water became ice, he called it as 0. He divided this 0 to 100 into 100 equal parts, and each came to be known as a degree centigrade or a degree Celsius in honor of the scientist Celsius. So far you have understood how 0 degree centigrade and 100 degree centigrade have happened. Okay. Now, if the temperature of water keeps on increasing beyond 100, then of course the markings can be made, and these graduations will show at what temperature a particular body is. Similarly, if the object is at a temperature which is below the freezing point of water, then we call it -1, -2, -3, like that, -10, -20 degrees centigrade. Where do you find this -10 or -20 degrees centigrade temperatures? If you go to some regions in Ladakh or towards Arunachal Pradesh, you will find that these very low temperatures. Okay. Have you heard of Kargil war? Yes, the temperature goes to -10, -15, -20, like that in those areas. Now we will discuss two more scales of measuring temperatures. One is the Fahrenheit scale. So it was developed by another scientist by name Fahrenheit. Therefore, in his name, this scale has been given. The relationship between Fahrenheit scale and the centigrade scale, which we have already discussed, is like this. C by 100 is equal to F minus 32 by 180, where C is in degrees centigrade and F is in degrees Fahrenheit. If any one of the scales is given, for example 20 degrees centigrade is given, we can calculate what is the equivalent in Fahrenheit. Alternatively, if in Fahrenheit it is given, we can convert the scale to degrees centigrade. Okay. Normally you have found that when we are discussing temperature in India, we discuss in terms of degrees centigrade. But when we see the temperature of human body, if somebody is sick, somebody has fever, when the doctor takes the temperature by using a thermometer, it is in degrees Fahrenheit. Something like, say, if somebody has got fever, he says, oh, he has got temperature 102 degrees Fahrenheit. 102 degrees centigrade Fahrenheit is quite high temperature. It is in the state in case of fever in the body. Okay. Now, and whereas in the case of environmental temperature, we normally use the degrees centigrade. For example, now in Bangalore at this moment, the temperature is around 30 degrees centigrade. If you travel in air conditioned coaches, you will find that it is quite, even in summers, the air conditioned coach is quite cool. If you, next time when you go in such a coach, ask the attendant or the mechanic, AC mechanic, what is the temperature, he will tell you. Okay. In summers it is kept at 26 degrees centigrade, and in winters it is at 24 degrees centigrade. Okay. Another unit of measuring the temperature is the degrees Kelvin, again in honor of one scientist by name Kelvin. The relationship between degrees Kelvin and degrees centigrade is that 0 degree Kelvin is minus 273 degrees centigrade. This is also called the absolute zero. That is, we have understood what is 0 degrees centigrade, where water starts getting converted into ice. Now you have also seen that in very cold areas like Ladakh or in Canada, etc., the temperature goes to around minus 20, minus 30 degrees centigrade. And just imagine how cold it is during those times. And if that object is still cooled, a time or a state comes when the object cannot be cooled anymore. That means there is almost no heat left in the body, and in that state the temperature is called absolute zero, where almost zero heat is present in the body. Okay, now imagine that we are at absolute zero, that is 0 degrees K or minus 273 degrees centigrade. Of course, nothing will exist at that level, but for the sake of understanding what heat and temperature is, let us assume that we are at minus 273 degrees centigrade or absolute zero. And now we supply heat to an object. Okay, that object is at minus 273 degrees centigrade. We keep giving heat by whatever means, say a flame of a burner. So the temperature of that object keeps rising and it keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter. When it keeps getting hotter, its temperature rises. In the process, that object is absorbing heat. Heat is a form of energy. We will discuss that later. So the object is absorbing the energy, and when it is absorbing energy, its temperature is rising. If we keep on supplying heat to the object, a state will come when it will come to this 0 degrees centigrade, that is plus 273 degrees Kelvin. And if we keep on supplying heat, it will keep on getting hotter. That means its temperature will keep rising, and if by any chance if that object happens to be water, at 0 degrees centigrade from ice it will start getting converted into water, because 0 degrees centigrade is that point where water and ice both coexist. That is, if you freeze, the water starts to become ice. If you heat, the ice starts to become water. And if you keep on heating it, the temperature of that water will keep rising, and at a temperature of 100 degrees centigrade, it will start getting converted into steam. That means it will start boiling. So what is happening to that body or water? That it is absorbing heat. So water becomes, or the solid water becomes liquid water, that is water, ice becomes water at 0 degrees centigrade, and at 100 degrees centigrade that liquid water becomes vapor. For different objects, these temperatures at which they become solid or gas, or liquid to gas, or solid to liquid, these two temperatures are different. This temperature is called the freezing point. This temperature is called the boiling point. We have seen that if we keep supplying heat to a body, its temperature keeps on rising. So what we measure is the degree of hotness. The temperature, what we measure, if we say that a particular body is at 60 degrees centigrade, means what? We are measuring the level or the degree of hotness of that body. Please make this thing very clear. Temperature is the level or the degree of hotness. That means how hot it is. It does not give you how much is the heat energy contained in the body. Whereas when we keep on pumping in heat into a body, it keeps on absorbing the heat. So we have to measure in a different way. What is the amount of heat present in the body? So are you understanding these two things clearly? Level of hotness and the quantity of heat contained in a body, or the quantity of energy contained in a body. That we will call it as heat, quantity of thermal energy. Now here we have so far discussed only water. There can be another body which may take a small amount of heat and its temperature rises faster as compared to water. Water may require more heat for the temperature to rise. Now let us say a body, say for example water only, it requires X amount of heat for the temperature to be raised by 1 degree centigrade. Let us consider another body which requires Y amount of heat for its temperature to go up by 1 degree centigrade. Now these two bodies will certainly be different, and they will require different amounts of heat for their temperatures to go up by 1 degree centigrade. This particular heat which is required to raise the temperature of a body by 1 degree is called the specific heat of the body. It is called specific heat because it is specific to that particular body.